Where's all the politics gone from your campaign? At the UGM hustings, you gave a very florid speech about how you had to campaign for everyone. I've been reading your manifesto and it seems to be a bit more boring, shall we say. Are you backtracking?
No, I'm certainly not backtracking, and I don't regret the speech that I gave. I think it's important that I show people that I'm a serious candidate and I'm the best candidate for the job, and that I do have ideas apart from to campaign for students, because that's not all the communications role entails. If you look, I've got 6 priorities, and then they're expanded upon below, or a few more than 6. The second one is a union that campaigns for students. So I'm certainly not hiding behind my desire to build a campaigning union, but I think in order to broaden out more students, I think I have to show that I've got what it takes to do the job, and I'm the best candidate, because I am the best candidate.
Talk a fair bit about the media group, and obviously you've been heavily involved in the Beaver. What experience have you had with Pulse Radio and Loose TV and how they're run and the issues they face?
Well, there's 2 parts to that really. I've been involved in the election coverage in the past. So, I've got some experience with radio and TV. How do I know the issues? I speak regularly with Chun about the issues that Loose face, which is why I've pledged to get a new office for Loose. I speak regularly with people from Clare Market. Was very excited at their launch, so that's why they need new space, that's why I pledged that. I've sat down with Rob before writing my manifesto, and I know a lot of people in Pulse, so I know how it works. I know how great the media group is and how much of a great opportunity it is. So I know the issues because I talk to the people because I'm there.
You mentioned in your manifesto about getting Pulse played in the Tons and played around Hall's bars. That's something Pulse has been aiming to do, we've been trying to do for a long time. What are you going to do differently to get Pulse out there more?
I think one of the problems the union faces is that the officers say things and they don't get done. And I think that comes from an ingrained mentality that students aren't in control of their own union and that the paid staff are. If I get elected, I won't take no for an answer. This is our union, our officers and our UGM and our students decide what goes on, and I won't take no for an answer.
You talked about a union campaigning for students.
Yeah.
This year you've been a student campaigning for students. Yeah. Next year you're just going to still be a student campaigning for students. You were involved in a not-for-profit campaign this year. How are you going to resist taking part in partisan campaigns when you should be being managed by the UGM?
The LSE not-for-profit campaign is mandated by the UGM, firstly. I understand that there's a need for the communications officer and all of the elected officers to do what the union mandates them to do. I know that I'm responsible and mature enough to make sure that I do that.
Sheldon spent most of the last year saying, my job isn't websites and posters. So whose job is it, and what is the job you're applying for if it's not promoting the union through the website and through marketing?
Dan's very good at website and posters, but he's not the best we could be. And certainly his predecessors, Kate and Ali, were by no means fantastic. I don't think it's sustainable to have the communications officer being the only person who makes those, because you get a bad person and it all goes to whatever. I do have good design skills. You'll see that when I put my posters up. I do have good HTML and CSS programming skills. Long term, I don't think it should be the communications role. I think that the communication, that all of the sabbaticals need more support from staff. So perhaps we could take on a casual, perhaps we could take on a part-time person who's got really, top-notch design skills. I'm not, better than Sheldon ever did, better than I could do, and perhaps that's the way we should be doing things moving forward. But I'm being paid by students. If a student asks me to do something, I'll do it to the best of my abilities, be that a poster or a website or anything.
What are you going to do if you lose this election?
What am I going to do if I lose this election? Take a long... Well, I'll be straight into my dissertation, I'll be straight into exams. Next year I will be applying for masters, earning some, and if I don't get into any of those, or probably just travel, relax, take a break, do something outside of London, outside of the country, do something new.
The exec moved down to the hub recently, and that's faced a lot of criticism. Is this a decision you agree with, or would you attempt to reverse this?
When it first happened, I had I really had concerns because it means that it's become a common room for hacks almost, and that's a shame. But I think the point that we need to stress here is that it's fantastic that now any student knows where their offices are, they're visible, you can check up on them, check if they're doing their job, go in, speak to them and get them to do what you need them to do. A big part of my manifesto is this idea of two-way communication. That you don't send emails that filter up and then they decide from their ivory tower what happens. Students and officers should be communicating on a really basic level. I wouldn't reverse the decision. I would keep that space as an office for officers, but I think it's important that the Education and Welfare officer keeps his own office, and perhaps that there's an office kept somewhere for officers to do work in quiet. But I know that they're planning to divide that office somewhat, so that might solve that problem.